Where is my PPT?
First of all, I would like to
1 second.
introduce today's keynote speaker or today's resource person, Rajani Madam Garu, Assistant Professor, Head Department of Botany, Food and Nutrition, RBVRR Women's College, Autonomous, Hyderabad. Madam is going to explain about the complete topic of algae. So she is an expert in phycology, especially in algae. Since last 18 years, Madam has served as the assistant professor and also head department of botany, RBVRR Women's College, one of the prestigious institution in TSPSC. So, first of all, I would like to say thanks to principals of both the colleges, that is Government Degree College for Women Jagityal and RBVRR Women's College Autonomous, Hyderabad. Dr. J. Achita Devi Madam Garu, Hyderabad. Dr. Y. Satyanarayana Sir Garu, Principal, Government Degree College for Women Jagityal. Okay, thank you for giving this platform for making a wonderful program, and also this program is very useful for all the aspirants, those who will going to attend CPGET-2023 in Telangana, and also even the Andhra Pradesh AP PG sets, also it is very useful, and also central universities of CU set examination, plant sciences and plant biotechnology. It is very helpful to you. Okay, so my dear friends, utilize this wonderful opportunity. So this is the free online classes. Better utilize this platform and join regularly. So we will go into the schedule. Please you observe the WhatsApp group and join without any late and utilize this wonderful program. Madam, thank you, and please share your screen and start the session.
Sir, okay, sir. Good morning. My screen is visible.
Yes,
screen.
You're visible, madam. Your screen is visible.
Yeah, thank you. Good morning, students. Today we will discuss about the algae. This is the first topic in your examination part also. Algae is the most important many times to ask the questions. If you write down any competitive exam, I think 5-6 questions are there in the algae topic. Here in this algae, before the algae, you know what is the microbiology. Microbiology can study the virus and bacteria. Here also some characters, microbiological characters also there. In the general characters of, before to discuss about the general characters of algae, here Fritz scientists to divide 11 classes, but in this classification, one class to change to the in microbiology, that is the Cyanophyceae bacteria or Cyanophyceae class. Why this class to change to in this algae to microbiology? Here all characters in that class to same microbiological characters are there. That's why only one class to change to the microbiology topic. See, before what is the algae? What type of
Madam,
what is
excuse
the
me.
Yeah,
so
sir.
Please click on slideshow, please.
Yeah, okay, sir. Sir, in this one slideshow option is not, sir. Okay, yeah. It's okay. Okay, sir. See,
Yes, sir. Yes, madam.
What
Please
is the
repeat.
algae? Yeah. Okay, sir. What is the algae? First, what characters are there? How to identify? These are I'll explain today class. First one, before the explanation of algae, the Thomas scientist, the life of the planet begin the long, slow process of modulating and regulating the physical condition of the planet. The oxygen in today's atmosphere is the almost entirely the result of the photosynthetic living. which had its start with the appearance of blue-green algae among the microorganisms. This quote to present the Lewis Thomas scientist in 1984. What is the meaning of this quote? See here, in the where the oxygen are available, plants are to release the oxygen. You know that one. Where the plants are there, more oxygen is present. Yes, but what is the how to oxygen to release? Photosynthetic rate, photosynthesis. The plants to own to the photosynthetic to release the oxygen. You know that one. But all our land plant, you know that one is a land plants do the photosynthesis to release the oxygen. But here the highest percent of oxygen to release blue-green algae. I'll explain on the cyanophyceae member. I'll tell no. These are the another name is called the blue-green algae. But algae is the most highest photosynthetic rate is present to compare to the land plant. That's why this is the quote for the Lewis scientist. Okay, before discussion of the algae, first, what is the algae? What are the algae? What characters are there algae? What type of classification? In the classification, what is the habitat in algae? Next one to discuss the thallus. What is the meaning of thallus? How to diversity of the in thallus algae? What type of chloroplasts are there? What is the use of chloroplast? What is the variation in each and every class of chloroplast? Next, another coming to the pigment system and the reproductive system. This life cycle. These are the objective you can study the algae. What is algae? What are they? See here, these are pictures you can observe. These are all algae pictures. You can't see directly. You can observe to the algae under electron microscope only. This is the, for example, I will show it. Dismiss, Cladophora, Oscillatoria, each and every one different class. I'll explain to later what class, what type, what thallus are there. This is a Spirogyra, Cytonema, Cladophora. See, this one is the colonial forms, Volvox, Senidesmus. These are the colonial nostoc. All are the colonial forms. See, this is the all are the algal diagram, diatom, sargassum, microcystis, fucus, coleochaete, alva, are all algae. Okay. First one, I'll explain to this one. What is the general account? What is the algae? In this one, algae, main important, what is the introduction? The branches of botany, which deals with the study of algae is called phycology. Sometimes to ask the what is the phycology, which is very simple question, but you know that you studied in this one also. The branches of botany deals with the study of algae is called the phycology. What is the meaning of phycology? Ficus meaning here seaweeds, logos meaning discourse. The study of phycology is called seaweed discourses. Here, the plants belonging to this group, algae group, are chlorophyllous. The plants belonging to this group are chlorophyllous. Another one, next important character, non-vascular plants. Chlorophyll is present, but here non-vascular. Why non-vascular? This is the first land plants. You can observe to the only underwater condition only you can observe these algae. That's why this is called the non-vascular plants. You know, cryptograms, phanerograms, the plants to divided again to that is called the non-flowering plant, flowering plant. Non-flowering plant again to divide into the thallophytes, bryophytes, and pteridophytes. In the thallophyte to divide, one is the algae, second one is the mycology, that is a fungi. And you know, bryophyte, pteridophyte. Here, algae, fungi, bryo, vascular system is totally absent. Where the pteridophytic system start there, in that plant's vascular system is present. That's where these algae also non-vascular plants. Without embryo also, embryo is absent. All are the autotrophism. What is the meaning of autotrophism? See, autotrophism meaning the food material prepare the own food material. That is the synthesis food using light energy. That is the autotrophism. All algae, the plants are the autotrophism. And the cell wall, you know, the plant body to made up of the cells. What is that cell? Here, starting plants, that's where the cell wall to made up of cellulose only. And the another very important character, reserve food material. In the algae, many times to ask the thallus structure, reserve food material, different classes, different types of reserve food materials are there. And next one is the what type of reserve food material? The reserve food material is the starch is the main material in algae is usually starch. And another one, the reproductive organs. What type of reproduction you can observe? This is a unicellular to multicellular with cell formation gametes to produce. This is the reproductive structure. And the next one, algae, see here, thallus is there. What is the thallus? The plant body name is called algae thallus. Can ask anyone, what is the meaning of thallus? What is the plant body of the algae? That is the thallus. The meaning of thallus is the undifferentiated into the root system, stem and leaf like organ. This is called the thallus. The plant body name is called in algae thallus. What type of pigments are there? Here, different type of pigments are there. I'll explain later. But chlorophyll is the one of the most important pigment. Here, the types of pigments also there. No, you know 5 types: chlorophyll A, B, C, D, and E type. This is the 5 types of pigments are present. Each and every pigment to each class, different pigments are present. This one, next one. See, these are characters, you know, here to meaning study of algae or seaweed discourse. The second thing is the what type of the plant body is there. The plant body is called the thallus. The plant body is called the thallus. Next one, next point is called the these are the autotrophs or heterotrophs. These are all the autotrophs. Why autotrophs? The plants are to prepare the own food material. That's why this is called the autotrophs. Next one, habitat. Okay, here, thallus organization or habitat is there where you can observe to the algae. What type of habits are present? What type of habits are there? See, habitat, algae usually grow in fresh water, marine water, hot water streams, almost all places on the trees and stones, in the mud, rivers, ponds, and all the temperature. The temperature 0 degree centigrade to 85 degree centigrade also. On the basis of habitat, algae also many types also present. What type of sex organs are there? This is a starting land plants. That's where the sex organs is called the unicellular sex organs. The jocket cells are present. What is the jocket cells? Later I will explain what type of sex organs jocket cells are there. After embryo, after reproduction, the embryo is not formed. That's why without the embryo, I'll explain in the tabula. Without embryo, here no embryos is not formed. Only zygote formation is there. And the type study is the alternation of generations are there. That is the life cycle of the algae. And here, some algae, the cellular organization prokaryotic. That is the blue-green algae. Only blue-green algae, the cell structure to organize to the prokaryotic structures. You know what is the prokaryotes? The bacteria and viruses, both are the prokaryotes. You know, eukaryotes, all the plants are the eukaryotic cell. Here, difference from, you know, what is a prokaryotic cell and eukaryotic cell. Next one, I'll explain habitat. The habitat of algae, the basic habitat of algae, you know, that is the freshwater, marine, rock, plants, animals, aquatic. Most very common is the aquatic. On the basis of habitat, algae classified into the 3 groups. One is the aquatic form. The second one is the terrestrial form. Third one is the algae of unusual habitats. These 3 are the here also to most of the questions to come in this habitat also. Example, what is the aquatic algae? Example, what is the terrestrial algae? Example, what is the algae of unusual habitat? These questions to ask. See, what is first I'll explain to the aquatic algae. In the aquatic algae, again to divide it in two parts. One is the freshwater algae. Second one is the marine water algae. Freshwater algae, occurs in ponds. That is called they absorbs of water and carbon dioxide. Sorry, absorb freshwater are growing in freshwater reservoirs are called freshwater algae. Some of them grow in stagnant water. Some of them grow in bottom of water. Some of them surface of water reservoirs. See, these freshwater, the mostly ponds, lakes, rivers, etc. In the ponds, lakes also, some algae, floating algae. Some algae grown in the bottom. Some of the surface. These are the freshwater algae. The best example, Spirogyra, Edogonium, Chara, Gygnema, Revaluria. See here, girls, in degree level, freshwater algae, you can mind it yourself. The example of the Edogonium one, Spirogyra, Chara, these three is the most important. Why? These are the syllabus, no? That's why these three are to ask the freshwater algae. Second one, marine water. Marine meaning algae grow in sea water. That is called the marine water algae. See here, very interesting. In this marine water, only two class of algae to found in marine water algae. What are the two class? That is the Cyanophyce, sorry, that is called the one is the Rhodophyce and second one is called the Cyanophyce, Pheophyce member. Pheophyce, Rhodophyce. Pheophyce is called the brown algae. Rhodophyce is called the green algae. See, this is the marine water or occurs in saline conditions also, sea or ocean. Sorry for distance, students. Did you understand the topic? Anyone to express? Yes or no?
Yes, madam. Yes, madam. Yes, madam.
Yes. It's okay. Speed ekunda? Okay na.
సరిపోయింది మేడం. ఇట్స్ ఓకే.
సరే సరే ఏమైనా డౌట్స్ ఉంటే అడగండి. ఓకేనా?
షూర్ మేడం. షూర్ మేడం.
ఓకే ఓకే సరే. See, the habitat algae. First one, I'll explain to the aquatic algae is complete. In the aquatic, only you can ask the question: water, marine water, fresh water, most probably chlorophysi, but all are there. But the example only Idogonium in your degree syllabus, Idogonium, Spirogyra, Volvox, Kara is there, no, Jignima. These are the syllabus is there. That's why they expect the answer only this one. Okay. Marine water, only two classes are there. One is the brown algae, that is called the Phaeophysi member. Example Sargassum, Laminaria, in your syllabus Laminaria also there. That two. And the Rhodophysi member, red algae, only Polysiphonia. Okay. Coming to the second one, terrestrial. Terrestrial algae, what is the meaning of terrestrial? Grow on algae very high, that is the another depending on the another part, that is a soil, rock, like this, that is called the terrestrial algae. In this one, terrestrial algae here, main important, this is the observed to the where the soil is there, rocks, moist walls, tree trunks. This is called the terrestrial, to grow on algae, terrestrial. What is the example? See here, Fischleria, these are not. Main important is the Wachiria. The best example terrestrial algae is called the Wachiria. Next one, unusual habitat. Okay, that is two is the usual habitats. What are the two? Aquatic algae and terrestrial algae is the very common. But sometimes the algae unusual habitat also present. What is the unusual? See, these are questions also most important to ask the mostly these questions also. Halophytic algae. Halophytic meaning saline water. Algae growing in saline water, that is called the halophyta. Best example, Dunalalia. Another one is called the in the halophyte, Chlamydomonas also. Stephanoptera, Chlamydomonas, and Dunalaria is the best example, halophyte. Halophytic meaning saline water to in algae growing saline water. That's why halophytes. Second one, epiphytic algae. Algae growing on other living plants, that is called epiphytes. Other living plants of surface or other living plant, that is the epiphytic algae. Best example, Idogonia, Coleochaete, Eulothrix. These three are the best example, epiphytic algae. Next one, epizoic algae. Epizoic meaning algae grow on other animals, that is the fish, snails. This is called the epizoic algae. These epizoic cladophora grow on snails. This one epizoic. Endozoic meaning grow inside the animal. Epi meaning depending upon the where the animal is there, in that animal to grow this one. Endozonic, inside the animal algae grow, that is the Zoochlorella inside the hydra. In animal hydra is there, in that hydra the Zoochlorella algae is inside to develop, to grow, that is called the endozoic. Another one very most important, symbiotic. Very important, this one. Algae growing on other plants symbiotically. The association with the fungi in lichens. And in the symbiotic, algae, fungi, both combination in called, that is a lichens. In bryophytes, pteridophytes, gymnosperms and angiosperms. But best example I'll explain. Nasdaq. Nasdaq is algae, no? In that algae grow in Anthoceras, Anabina, these two, and correlate roots of cycles. That is a gymnospermic plant. That's where symbiotic algae, where there fungi is there, bryophytes, pteridophytes, gymnosperm. This is the symbiotic algae. Best example, Nostoc in Anthoceras and Anabina. Next one, correlate roots in of cycles. This is very important. Keep write down. This point is very most important. Another most important point, parasitic algae. Many times to ask this question also. What is the parasite? In some causing the disease also. Algae is the autotrophism. This here no diseases are there. Only in the starting from fungal that they can start to the diseases and plants, affect the plants. But algae is no, they cause no, that is absent to the disease. But only one algae is there. In that algae, that is a parasitic algae causing the disease. The parasitic meaning algae growing on other plants or algae occurring parasitically. The parasitic on plants and animals. This is a Cephirulus, very best example. This is the algae. These Cephirulus, which grows on tea leaves to causing the disease, red rust disease. Keep in your mind, symbiotically, parasitic is most important. These are important, but mostly to expect the questions, these two. Thermophytic, you know, temperature. Grow in, thermophytic grow in very high temperature. Let's know 85 degrees also. Hot springs, that is the Heteroarmagonium example for the halophyte, and sometimes Chlamydomonas also. Some species of Chlamydomonas, Stephanoptera also, thermophytic algae. Coming to the thallus. These are the habitat. You know that you can understood, I think. Habitat meaning the plants to develop the freshwater, marine water, sea, aquatic algae, freshwater and marine water, terrestrial, these two, and the undifferentiated habitat. After completion of habitat, the thallus, very important, the plant body of algae is called the thallus. What is the definition of thallus? Undifferentiated into the root, shoot, and leaf system. That is called the thallus plant body. Okay, here what the algae exhibit here very great diversity in their size. They may be microscopic, they may be macroscopic. Where the microscopic is there, Chlamydomonas are complex gained side of macrocystis also. Macrocystis, macrospora, very largest algae. And here you can tell us very small diversity is there, the size of algae. One is a micro and second one is a macrocystis. The largest algae, I think it is 180 meters long. Other algae marked various between about to the two limits. Laminaria about 7 meters. Chlamydomonas also long. And Chlamydomonas is a unicellular. This is the size of algae. Okay, next one, thallus, you know here, wide range, unicellular, multicellular, microscopic, macro. I'll explain the first microscopic. What is the macroscopic? The size range from microscopic to several meters height. Best examples of microscopic Chlamydomonas is a very microscopic structure. Macroscopic is the best example. The very largest are 180 meters of length. Macrocystis. The laminaria length is 7 meters length. This is a macroscopic algae. Here the size range from micron to several meter. The basis of thallus organization are following types. These are the thallus organization or thallus type. One is the unicellular forms. Second one, colonial forms. Third one, filamentous forms. Fourth one, siphonous forms. Fifth one, parenchymatous forms. How many? Total 5 types. Unicellular, colonial, filamentous, siphonaceous, parenchymatous forms. These are the thallus differentiated. Next one, what type of pigments are there? I will explain later what is the unicellular, what is the multicellular. Unicellular meaning here, they are again to divide motile form, non-motile form, colonial difference. I'll explain to later. Before the explanation, what type of pigments also very important. So, to expect the question, pigment side also. Very pigmentation is the most important character the algae. Different groups of algae have different types of pigments are there. Distribution pattern of pigments has very great taxonomic significance. Algae, major groups of algae, at least one characteristic pigments are present. You know, pigments mainly major category, three types of pigments: chlorophylls, carotenoids, phycobilins. Again, chlorophylls can be divided 5 types: chlorophyll A, B, C, D, and E. Carotenoids again to divided 2. One is a carotene, another one xanthophyll. Third one, phycobilins are there, no? These phycobilins also 2. Phycobilin A, D, phycobilin C. Where you can find it, I will explain. Next, coming to the plastids. What is the plastid? Here, except cyanophyceae. Listen careful, girls. Plastid is the most important in algae, but except cyanophyceae or another name, blue-green algae, that is the BGA. Pigments in algae are found in members bound organelles are called plastids. What is the pigments in algae found in members bound organelles, that is called the plastids. In BGA or blue-green algae, plastids are absent. Very, very important. What is the main important in the plastids? Which class is the plastids are absent? Here, don't ask directly ask the which class. Here to ask some algal names: nostoc, anabina, chlamydomonas, or something like this. Which one is type studies? Which class is there? You can write down very easily. In the blue-green algae, in degree syllabus, nostoc, anabina, acylatoria. These 3 cytonema. These 4 are the cyanophyceae member. These 4 is the absent to this plastid. Remaining all algae, plastids are present. Here, again, the plastid can be divided in 2 types. One is a leukoplastic and chromoplastic. Leukoplastic means colorless plastic. This is the only white color is there. That is the leuco. And leucoderma, the white patches. That is the same like that. Leuco is called the colorless plastid. Chromoplastid is called colored plastid. Pigments are present. That is the chromoplastid. Next, coming to the plastid formation in algae. This also very important. Take the screenshot. Sometimes to plastid, how to form, what is the shape of plastids? Many times to ask this question also. Cup shape of plasmid, you can observe this is a chlamydomonas and volvox. Here cup shaped plastids are present. Discoid shape of plastid, Vacheria and Cara. Griddle shape of plastid, Eulothrix. And reticulate plastid, Edogonium, Hydrodictyon, Cladophora. And spiral shaped plastid, Spirogyra. Satellite plastid, Gymnema. These are the plastid formation in algae. Very important, this one, the structure of plasmids. Next one, the pyrenoids. What are the pyrenoids? Here, pyrenoids, most important proteinous body name is called pyrenoids. Here, proteinous body meaning proteinous bodies present in chromatophores. These are called the pyrenoids. These pyrenoids synthetically storage of starch material. That is the pyrenoids. In chlorophyceae, pyrenoids are surrounded by starch grains. This is a by the division of pre-existing pyrenaids. But here same in the Cyanophyceae where this one plastid is absent, no? Same like pyrenaids also absent in blue-green algae. This point also most important. Coming to the reserve food material, very important. These are to expect the questions compulsory minimum general account of algae. 2 to 3 questions are in your examination. What type of reserve food? Very important. This is a most important character of the reserve food material is the algae. Stored of food function, important of the storage, released the ATP production when required. In Cyanophyceae, this is the blue-green algae, the reserve food material is starch. Chlorophyceae, Cyanophyceae starch, not only starch. In all chlorophyceae, starch is pigment, reserve food material. Sorry, not pigment, reserve food material. The way the Cyanophyceae is there, that type of material, reserve food material is called Cyanophyceae starch. Keep in your minds. Chlorophyceae, very normal starch. But Cyanophycean starch is there. In Rhodophyceae, Floridian starch. Very important. This also take the screenshot or write down your notes. And the Phaeophyceae, Cyanophyceae, blue-green algae, Chlorophyceae, green algae, Rhodophyceae, red algae. Here, Floridian starch. Many times to ask these 4 compulsory one question. Phaeophyceae, you know, that is a brown algae. Laminarian starch, mannitol alcohol, and oils are present. These are the reserve food material. Coming to the reproduction. What type of reproduction is there, algae? In the very common, 3 types of reproductions are there. One is the vegetative, second one asexual, third one is the sexual reproduction. Vegetative, you know, very common cell division, fission, fragmentation, harmagonia, formation of adventitious branches, tubers, buddings. This is the vegetative reproduction. Asexual reproduction, all are the motile or non-motile spores to produce. That spore, some class motile spores are there, some classes non-motile spores are there. One is the zoospore formation, aplanospores, hypanospores, tetraspores, autospores, daughter colonies, allospores. These are the reproductive organ. What type of asexual reproductive organ? Asexual reproductive organ, zoospore, aplanospore, hypanospore, lamella stage, and autospores, endospores, exospores, oxospores, neutral spores, monospores, paraspores, statospores, daughter colonies, microspore. These are all spores to produce the asexually. Coming to the sexual reproduction. Here, sexual reproduction algae takes place by special type of haploid male and female gametes. Gametes to produce male gamete and female, but haploid condition, have male and female. Both the gametes fuse together to form a, what happened to form a diploid zygote, which gives rise to a new plant. Depending upon the structure, nature, and behavior of gametes, the sexual reproduction may be following 3 types. See, one is the autogamy, hologamy, and main important, these 3 are the most important. The first one, isogamy type. Second one, anisogamy type. Third one is the oogamy. These 3 is the reproductive sexual reproduction gametes. This is the life cycle. What is the life cycle? Alternation generation is the very most common of life cycle in all classes. It is the primarily used life cycle of algal plant body. Most of algae are alternative of generation or alternative of life cycle is there. In that alternative, many call haploid gametophytic generation, with many called diploid sporophytic generation. Both are present in alternative generation, haploid gametophytic and diploid sporophytic, which both are the alternatively regularly. This is the life cycle. Very common alternation generation, but most alternative generation is called haploid and diploid. Next one, this life cycle develop consists of the morphological and cytological changes. What is the changes in the life cycle? The sequence, orderly changes, that is called the life cycle of algae. Here, sequence all different phases which can organism pass from the zygote. Zygote is the diploid condition. One generation to the zygote of next generation gamete is a haploid. There are 5 types of life cycles algae based on the number of haploid and diploid generation. See, these are the life cycle. Haplonetic life cycle, diplonetic life cycle, haplobionetic and diplobionetic life cycle, haplobionetic life cycle. These are all the life cycles from the class. Tomorrow, next day, I'll explain to the these one classification of algae. Yes or no? Shall I continue or stop? Dear participants.
Okay, please you proceed.
Hello. Shall I stop or
Please continue, ma'am.
Please continue. Please continue, madam.
Continue, ma'am.
sir?
Madam Garu.
No, sir. But participant students, you can study the today's class. Tomorrow, one second, sir. Tomorrow I will explain classification of algae to revisit, to remind what is the first class and what is the difference in classification. Tell me, sir.
Okay. Okay, ma'am.
Hello,
Thank you, ma'am. Hello.
sir.
Yes.
Sir.
Yes, I am audible.
Okay, now?
Madam ji. Madam ji. Your voice is not clearly audible, madam. Your voice is.
In case doubts unte then repi class lo classification.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
yes, sir.
Okay.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, madam.
Right, madam. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Madam, can I get your PPT, madam?
My voice is clear, sir, but your side.
Okay, okay, madam. Thank you.
Madam, PPT send cheyalagam,
Yeah.
madam. It is very useful to us.
Tomorrow we will meet same time.
Okay.
Madam,
Tomorrow.
PPT send chestara, madam.
ఎలా జాయిన్ అవ్వాలి సార్?
Hello.
Yes, madam. Rajita madam garu cheppandi.
Madam, PPT send chestara, madam.
చేద్దాం. PPT సెండ్ చేద్దాం
ఎలా
సార్. డోంట్ వరీ.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
రజిత మేడం గారు చెప్పండి.
సార్ ఎలా క్లాస్ లో ఎలా జాయిన్ అవ్వాలి సార్? యాక్చువల్లీ
మీరు-
ఇది మాకు వేరే సార్ సెండ్ చేశారు, అలా జాయిన్ అయ్యాను నేను. డైలీ ఎలా
అచ్చా,
అవ్వాలి సార్?
మీకు వాట్సాప్ లింక్ ఇప్పుడు నేను వాట్సాప్ లో ఇందులో ఈ చాట్ బాక్స్ లో వాట్సాప్ లింక్ పంపిస్తాను. ఆ వాట్సాప్ మీరు చేయండి.
ఓకే ఓకే, థ్యాంక్ యూ సార్, థ్యాంక్ యూ సో మచ్.
మీరు మీరు రిమూవ్ కాకండి. ఇందులో ఇప్పుడు చాట్ బాక్స్ లో నేను పెడతాను.
ఓకే సార్, థ్యాంక్ యూ సో మచ్ సార్, థ్యాంక్ యూ సో మచ్.
సో రెగ్యులర్ గా వస్తే బాగుంటది. అందరూ విని ఇట్లా ఈ టైం యూటిలైజ్ చేసుకోండి.